Hi friends, family and followers. Big day yesterday here at Sweeney's Creek Farm. Even though we're not in Sweeney's Creek Farm, we're in our kitchen that we're in at the moment with our rental while we build our house. So it's not our ideal kitchen, but it's where we are at the moment while we produce our large double kitchen that we have on the way with our full commercial equipment, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. But in the meantime, this is not nirvana, but it's okay for the moment. It's allowing us to do some things. Yesterday was a big day. For my Father's Day present this year, I was able to get hold of 150 new Fowlers preserving jars, some of which you see in front of us here. It was a very, very big day getting them all cleaned up, and through the magic of sequential videoing, we're just going to drop in some video now of me going through and spending most of the day scrubbing, cleaning and preparing the jars for storage for their use at a later stage. So the jars that we acquired yesterday, as you can see from the previous video, were in a fairly dirty state. They were acquired from a lovely old lady who had them stored in her shed for a long time, so they were very much caked with dirt and other debris. So the first stage of getting them ready for storage was to remove all of the sediment and dirt and get them clean, scrub them out and then run them through the dishwasher. So they're in a much cleaner state now, which allows us to store them, but they're not clean enough for use at the moment. We'll be putting them into crates, putting them into a position where we can keep them under storage. When we're ready to use them, we'll then go through a full sterilisation and cleaning process and getting them ready for use. So there is another step in the clean to go through. So I wanted to just quickly talk about Fowlers preserving jars and the process of how this goes about. In our description underneath this video, down the bottom here, we're going to have some links to the Fowlers websites, which has got information and videos that shows how that process goes through. And once we actually start preserving some of our fruit and produce, then we'll be putting up our own videos as well. So these are the vacuum seal Fowlers jars. They come in various sizes. If I'm looking down here occasionally, it's just where I'm looking at my notes because my memory is not the best, so I'm just making sure I've got my information correct. These two on the end were a couple of ring-ins that came in the group. These here are size 73 and 74, and these both ceased production in about 1946. So these are at least 74 years old, possibly anything up to 100 years old. And that's always exciting when you find some glass jars of that age. They are still usable. The only problem is they're not supported with the sealing rings and the lids. But we will make use of them either as decorative flower vases or for storage of other goods. So even with that age, they will see a new life and they will be used. And it's quite happy for me to see something of that age to keep being used and finding a new life. These ones here are ones that are currently supported and are usable with the preserving process. So we have a size 20 here, number 20. So it's a 600ml or 1.2 pint jar. This one here, and that's a currently supported one. This is a size 27. It ended production in 1970s, but the actual lids are still supported. So it's an 850ml or 1.7 pint. This also is a currently supported jar, and the size is still being produced currently. It's a number 31, so it's a 1 litre, 1000ml or 2.1 pint. This one here, getting up into the big boys, number 36, 1.2 mils or 1.2 litres, 2.5 pints. So really good for large amounts of fruit, peaches, all those sorts of things will be able to be preserved. Sorry, correction on that one. It's not a 1.2 mil, it's a 1,200 mil or a 1.2 litre on that one. Or again, 2.5 pint for our American friends. So Fowlers as a company was formed in 1915, so 105 years ago. It's a very recognisable and stable company in Australia. If you say the word Fowlers, everyone knows that you're talking about jars and preserving. They are the preeminent preserving company that has been around in Australia for a long time. So the accessories that go with these jars is there is a rubber ring that goes on the top when the jar is in its heated container. A lid goes over the top of that and a clip then goes on to hold it in place. When they're then removed, they're allowed to stand for 10 to 12 hours, and as that inside cools, then it creates a vacuum inside and vacuum seals, and then the clip is removed for storage. One of the most important things to verify with your jars, certainly with their cleanliness and making sure they're sterile, but also making sure that the actual neck or rim of the lid is free from cracks or chipping. Any sort of chip or reduction in the glass there will mean that the vacuum seal won't occur correctly, and then as it goes into storage, then you're going to get spoilage and things deteriorating and not preserving correctly. So while the jar can have a few scratches and things down the bottom, that sealing area there is critical to make sure that's in 100% condition. And yesterday's haul of 150 jars, I think I had one or two that didn't make the cut as far as having a good solid neck for preserving. Even those ones with cracks and chips, they can also still be used for dry storage because we can still get the lids to go on them. They're just not suitable for preserving and making sure that things don't go off inside them, but certainly for dry storage of pasta and things, they're going to be perfectly fine. What are we going to be putting in our jars? So we've got about 200 so far. These jars and this preserving technique is ideal for fruits and berries, any fruit that comes out of our orchard, certainly good for vegetables as well. So everything from tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, passata, tomato sauce, relish possibly, and also chilies in oil. Our pickled onions, I'm really looking forward to growing a large crop of small pickled onions. So our beetroot crop, all of the hard vegetables that we get within a certain time of the season, and then we're able to preserve them for use throughout the year. It's a long tradition of preserving fruit and vegetables within Australia. I know my grandmother out on her farm had a large collection of Fowlers jars and would always be preserving foods that are available now that would not be available in 6 months' time. And the other point too is that globally the preserving movement is gaining great drive and popularity, and these items are becoming harder and harder to acquire and find. As they're becoming more and more popular, it's very difficult at times to get them either in large amounts or at a reasonable price. So as something becomes popular, of course, the price goes up. So we're doing our best to try and source as many as we can, get them all cleaned up and get them in the storage for when we're ready to start using them. And I'm quite excited to see how many of these we'll be able to have filled within the next year or two. And the other really good thing about them too is they look great on display. These jars, you get them filled up with all sorts of different vegetables and colours and fruits in there, and on an open display shelf, they look really good. And another interesting point just with this particular industry or backyard hobby is that the Royal Australian shows around this country, around the different states, every capital city in Australia and every town in Australia will have a show once through the year. The capital city ones are large events, and produce and cattle and animals are all put on to display and for judging, and the preserved fruit within the Fowlers jars is a highly coveted award and a very highly competitive competition within those shows. Some of the really well put together and highly decorative and very attractive jars can then go on to be sold for hundreds if not thousands of dollars. So it really is an industry that's growing in popularity, and it has many facets to it. So you might notice also in the background, again using the magic of sequential videoing that we filmed yesterday, I have the start of my jars in storage. So we're using some milk crates there to stack them up. We'll put them into a nice dry and clean space so that when I drag them out for use, they're not going to look as dirty as what they did yesterday when I got them. And again, in the background here, a small part of the hoard that I was able to get hold of. We've been lucky in that the jars that we've been able to acquire so far are all been supported and currently on the list of ones that we can get the supporting accessories for, so we can make use of them. And yeah, we're up to about 200 jars at the moment and still climbing, always looking for more. So just at the completion of the video, first of all, just wanting to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day. Today is Father's Day in Australia, so I hope you've all had, by the time you see this video, a fantastic day and spend it with people that are important to you and that you love and love you, and hope it was a great day. Just also a reminder that we will be continuing to add more videos in this series, so as we get to a point ready to preserve, we will be showing you the process of doing that. There will be further cooking videos coming on, because Julianne and I both enjoy cooking and spending our time in the kitchen. And if you enjoyed this video and if you like the channel, please support us. Subscribe below, hit that like button, and let us know that you're out there. Drop us a comment underneath. It's very exciting to see people from all around the globe saying hello and showing their appreciation. So don't be shy, hit that like button.